Something you may notice as we cross through these border towns along the Mexican border is how the roads tend to funnel one towards the border ports of entry. And that makes for some very confusing directional changes in the way that we go through these towns. We don't want to go through the border, so we kind of have to go around the area where the border is. And it's something that you'll notice a lot in these clips that I'm showing from these towns that are along the border. Generally speaking, I get as close to the border as I can, but sometimes when you get near a port of entry and the roads are funneling you towards the crossing and you don't want to make the crossing, you need to make adjustments. And so that's what you're seeing here. I think there's an underlying assumption here that if you're going to come to a town like San Ysidro, clearly you're coming here to go either in or out of Mexico. And as with me, that's just not the case. knew going into this trip that the southwestern United States has some of the most amazing scenery of any of the edgy areas that we've been driving. And this area of Southern California, though not the most spectacular of the scenery that we saw on this trip, certainly was a highlight for me. Driving through this area on a perfect day in perfect conditions, on roads that were in excellent conditions and well maintained, just made driving this section of road a pleasure. And as a consequence of that, I got lots of footage of it, so you guys get to enjoy that now too. Right-hand side, you can see some of the border fence. We're right along the Mexican border here. I've been catching glimpses of it here and there, but I think that's probably the best view I've had. There's also a presence. You're definitely aware of it as you go through these areas. You're definitely aware of the Border Patrol. They're around. Sometimes they're subtly hidden, but they're here. In fact, there's one right now. So an interesting area, this, and very, very beautiful, as you know. Welcome to the desert. This area of Southern California, I'm in Imperial County, which is, I'm getting pretty close to Arizona. I'll be staying in Yuma tonight. This is known as the Yuma Desert. And I'm stayed at the Juan Bautista de Anza National Historical Trail, which is a multi-use trail that goes off in that direction. We're not going to go down there though. I just stopped here because I really needed to get out of the car and stretch my legs. There's a geocache near here, got that. There's also a big huge phone tower here, so I have phone signal here. But this is really my first taste of the desert on this trip. We've been, you know, driving through a lot of semi-scrubby and semi-desert, but this is actual desert. And it is absolutely gorgeous out here. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time here because it's winter time and we have short days. I need to get moving. I just wanted to go up to this plant though, because I've been seeing a bunch of these around. Now this thing, I'm not quite sure what it is. Yellow flowers. At first I thought they were maybe tumbleweeds, but they're not tumbleweeds because there are tumbleweeds here. And they're almost the same color as the ground and they're kind of hard to see. There's one right there, a little tumbleweed. But this thing is covered in spikes. Yeah, they're very, very sharp. A sage or something, I don't know. I don't know what it is. One of you out there will know what it is and you can tell me. Some kind of brush. Here's a tumbleweed. Right here. I can get it out of my shadow maybe. I'm also being very cautious and looking for snakes and scorpions here. This is the Edgemobile over there. All right. Had, I think, enough of a break, so I think it's time to move on.